Hello, academic explorers. Are you guys ready for our school song? Yeah! Academic explorers, academic explorers. We learn and play every day. We learn the numbers and the colors and ABC. Academic explorers.
Hi everybody, my name is Danielle. We're gonna go ahead and get started as more people come into the open house. I would love to start off by introducing our administrative team, but before we get into that, I want to just give you guys a rundown of how the next hour is gonna go. It is being recorded, so if you do have to jump in and out at any point in time, that's okay, as long as you registered to view this open house, you'll be able to get the recording. So go ahead and feel free to come in and out as needed. But we're going to first introduce ourselves, then we're gonna go through a little bit about our programs and our enrollment process and what you can expect the first few weeks and throughout the school year. This is not a back to school night where you will meet every single teacher in every single classroom, but if you do choose to enroll, there will be a designated back to school night for your child's class at the end of September where you'll meet their teachers that they will be with. But for now, this is a tour of all three of our facilities, an introduction to our leadership team, and you'll get an opportunity to answer questions about the enrollment process, to ask questions about the enrollment process. So can we get started with introductions? Miss Miriam, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Hi, everyone. My name is Miriam Abbasi, and I am the center director at our Roseville location. I have been promoted multiple times in this facility. I had started here being the lead teacher in the pre-K classroom. I was quickly promoted to the administrative assistant position. And then it's been a year now, and I am the center director of this location.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kadis. I'm the administrative assistant at Roosevelt. I started with Academic Explorers about a year ago. I started as a teacher's assistant. I went to a lead, and then I went back to a teacher's assistant, and now I was promoted to the administrative assistant.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rochelle. And starting September, I'll be the director at our Merrick location. I've been working here for going on a year, but my kids actually attend the Roosevelt location for almost 2 years. So that's how I know about the company.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Gael. I am currently our operations manager and will be our Uniondale Location director. I've been with Academic Explorers for 3 years now. I began as a school-age lead teacher, then got promoted to assistant director with Miss Danielle, and then the following year got promoted to operations manager.
All right, thank you, ladies. So let me go back to sharing my screen. As you have heard, there's multiple locations. We do have one that we opened in March of 2017. Our first location is in Roosevelt, and the address is 18 White House Avenue, Roosevelt. Then we have a location in Merrick that opened last year, 1430 Jerusalem Avenue. And there's another location opening this fall in Uniondale, which is 607 Nassau Road. So that's where you can find us, and you can find more information about each center on our website, academicexplorersllc.com. I wanted to start off with talking about exactly what we offer. We are a preschool and childcare center for children that are 6 weeks old to 12 years old. We do have infant programs at our Roosevelt and Merrick location. However, Uniondale will not have an infant classroom. The youngest age group there will start off at 18 months. And as far as school-age children that are in grades K to 6, we do offer that at Roosevelt and Uniondale, but at this time, we do not have school-age classroom at Merrick. So just certain things to keep in mind. However, all three of those locations are less than 10 minutes from each other, and we do have multiple families that have kids at multiple centers because they're so close. So we do have infant rooms, toddler rooms, preschool, pre-K, and school-age rooms, which is for children in grades K through 6, during breaks, before and after school services. And unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, there were many kids that were put out of school because their elementary schools shut down, but we stepped in to try to help provide support for their virtual learning. So God forbid there's an issue like that again, we do have the availability to help provide families with virtual learning support as well. And we do offer, you might have seen our vans driving around the neighborhoods. We do have transportation services where we pick up kids from home and from school, and that is based on availability. At Academic Explorers, we're committed to partnering with families in our community on our mission to learn with, love, and lead children to a higher education and a brighter future. Our services do include extended day childcare. So our programs, all three of our programs during the academic school year from September to June are open 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. So we are 12 hours a day from September through June. In the summer months of July and August, we're open 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We do also offer an educational preschool curriculum, and I'll get into that in just a second. But we also offer universal pre-K services at our Roosevelt site. So if you live in the Roosevelt School District and your child is 3 or turning 3 by December, you may be able to qualify for free pre-K for your child to attend our program. And you would have to apply through the school district in order to get that. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't offer that in Merrick, but we hope to offer that as well in our Uniondale location next school year, if all goes well. We do also provide, like I mentioned before and after school care for children that are in grades K through 6. In many different school districts, we pick up and drop off from those elementary schools. So children from those elementary schools come to us for homework help and just childcare supervision, snacks during after school hours until 6:30. And then we offer a summer program for all ages, 6 weeks to 12 years during the months of July and August. And as I mentioned before, we offer virtual learning support if need be. We do have a partnership with Soccer Shots, which is a soccer program for children under the age of 8 years old, I believe. So they come to our program multiple times a year to offer families a chance to get their kids enrolled in soccer and learn some basic soccer and teamwork skills. And we also have a collaboration with Snapology, which is a STEAM-based play group that they come to our program to teach different STEAM curriculum materials with our children every so often. In addition to the high quality, safe, and reliable childcare, our families also benefit from the convenient services and systems that we have in place. So as I mentioned a few times, we offer transportation to and from homes and schools based on availability. We do have, we recently expanded our transportation services and got another vehicle. However, both of those vans are only 10 passenger vans that have only space for 7 children in the back, which is why it's so limited. It cannot be available to every single person that requests it at the exact time that they request it. So it's important to request it as early as possible and be patient with us as we try to work out a time that is convenient for you and that works with our current route. We offer wrap around childcare for children in universal pre-K. So if you do live in Roosevelt or a school district that offers universal pre-K, you'll notice that the hours are short and are pretty much done by 2 p.m. And usually don't start anytime before around 8 a.m. If you need care before or after those hours, that is something that we can help with, and that falls in line with our before and after school services for school-aged children. We provide free meals and snacks that are delivered fresh every day by our local food vendor. We don't cook on site, but the meals are hot meals that are catered and delivered to each site each day. We do offer virtual tours that are private and not like a group setting like this right now, but you can schedule a private virtual tour through Zoom or a private in-person tour with any one of our lovely center directors here that just introduced themselves. And we also offer a digital registration process that makes it quick and easy to register if space is available. And we do try our best to support anybody that needs help with applying for childcare subsidies like DSS or ACS. We will try to get in contact with your worker for you and help you throughout that process to the best of our ability. A few things that make us unique is that we have classrooms separated by similar age groups. Families, we try our best to notify our families of opportunities and different community resources that are available to them if you're included in our newsletters. We, prior to COVID, did do a lot of special events that we tried to offer for our families throughout the school year. COVID really took away a lot of that from us, and hopefully we can get back to it this school year. We do offer a parent communication app called Tadpoles. If you're able to enroll with us, you will get access to Tadpoles and you'll see the daily report of what your child participated in throughout the day, along with pictures and videos. And we do have a collaborative partnership with Help Me Grow Long Island, which is a resource, an organization that provides resources to families that have concerns about their children's development. And then speaking of development, we do offer developmental screenings at the start of every school year and at least once while the school year is going on. Prior to parent-teacher conferences, we do issue out what's called an ASQ3, and that is a set of questionnaires regarding children's development. It's been used for over 20 years to make sure children are developing well. A screening provides a quick look at how children are doing in important areas such as communication, physical ability, social skills, and problem-solving skills. ASQ3 can help identify your child's strength as well as any areas where your child may need support. As a parent or caregiver, you are the best source of information about your child. That's why ASQ3 questionnaires are designed to be filled out by you. We do provide those questionnaires for you when we are getting ready to do them ourselves. We ask that we get them back within about a week or two. So if you do register with us in the beginning of September, you'll get a ASQ3 questionnaire that is at the developmental stage that your child is at based on their age. You'll only need 10 to 15 minutes. It's that quick and easy. And there is a breakdown here about how the ASQ3 works. It's simple questions that you only need to answer yes, sometimes, or not yet, based on what your child is able to do at that point in time. Your answers help show your child's strengths and areas where he or she may need practice. And then if we look down a little further, this is a screenshot of a form that we do give you upon enrollment to sign off on. So I just felt it was important to separate it and show it here for anybody that is interested. If your child is developing without concerns, there's nothing more you would need to do after completing the questionnaire. You may try the next ASQ3 age level as your child grows and learns new skills. There are 21 questionnaires that you can use with children from 1 month old to 5.5 years old. And if your child does have some trouble with some skills, we can help you with next steps. Finding delays or problems as early as possible supports young children's healthy development. So once we complete the ASQ3 questionnaires and you do the same and we come together in a parent-teacher conference, if we determine or you ask, even if there are no concerns shown documented, we can put you in contact with Help Me Grow Long Island to get you connected with resources for early intervention services if need be. I also, during tours, we get a lot of questions about how we manage behaviors. And this is an excerpt from our behavior management plan that I'd love to go over with you guys. At Academic Explorers, we try our best to work with parents to establish self-discipline within our students and to determine the cause of any misbehavior, if there is any. We practice positive reinforcement in the hopes of encouraging each child to want to conduct him or herself in a proper manner at all times. We want to teach our children that it is fundamental to be respectful to others and to expect others to give respect in return. If there are children that are posing misbehaviors, our caregivers will attempt to manage behavior by following the steps outlined here from steps 1 to 12. We do our best to work with children regardless of their behavior or their developmental screening levels. The only thing that we do have to be aware of is safety is our main priority. We want to make sure that all children, including yours, in our care are safe. So if a child's behavior is intentionally violent and or becomes threatening toward the safety of other children in the group, our caregivers may attempt physical intervention strategies that are noted below. If violent behavior or anything that poses a danger to your child or others continues for a long period of time, we will definitely ask you to come pick up your child and talk about ways that we can prevent behaviors like that from happening in the future, or offer other options. I do want to also talk about our curriculum. In all of our classrooms, infants, toddlers, preschool, and pre-K, we do use teaching strategies, the creative curriculum. The creative curriculum is a research-based curriculum that supports the development of the whole child. It is proven to increase kindergarten readiness. It's academically rigorous and promotes social emotional development. It is rated higher than any other preschool curriculum. It's inclusive, supporting all children, and it does align with the New York State Early Learning Guidelines. So this curriculum is where our teachers pull most of their lesson plans from, and classroom activities comes from the creative curriculum. We also, of course, at this time have a lot of questions about COVID-19 and the procedures that we put in place for reducing the risk of spreading that virus. Even though at this time, New York State has eliminated all of the COVID-19 restrictions and emergency regulations that daycares had to put in place. As of June, those are no longer needed for licensing. As a company, we did choose to be more strict and keep many of our policies because, as most of you probably are aware, we're still very much dealing with this crisis. So because of that, we are still asking for and conducting daily health checks on all of our staff and students. We do still do curbside pickup and drop-offs, meaning that families at this time are not allowed to come in and out of the classrooms as they used to be. We still do have designated classrooms and do our best to not mix the children anymore like we used to. It used to be at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, we could have certain children come together as they wait for their families to pick up, but we're not doing that at this time. We have hired a janitor that cleans all of our programs every day. We, of course, do frequent hand washing as we did even before COVID because we're working with young children. And all of our staff and students wear face covering. Students over that are at least 2 years old and free from any respiratory issues. And we, of course, follow and comply with all Department of Health guidelines. The rest of our COVID-19 risk reduction procedures can be found on our website, academicexplorersllc.com/COVID-19. Regarding tuition payments, we accept multiple forms of payment and subsidies. We do, of course, accept private pay. If you're going to be paying for tuition privately, the tuition rate would either be agreed upon a weekly rate or a monthly rate, which can be discounted 5% if you're going to do monthly. And beginning in September, these are automatic charges that would come out if you do sign up for our program and agree to the tuition rate. You won't have to worry about going into a system and making a charge yourself. And you won't have to worry about us calling you every week asking for tuition payments. We have a system now where it will just be automatic. If you don't pay tuition privately and you have assistance from either Nassau County Department of Social Services or New York City ACS, we do accept those subsidies. And once we have an approval letter that shows your name and the child's name and what your parent fee might be, your child can start with us so long as we have the rest of the enrollment forms. We also have a district-funded universal pre-K or UPK program, like I mentioned a few slides ago. So if you're in the Roosevelt area and your child is enrolled with us for universal pre-K, only from the hours of 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. is our school day session, which is free if you're signed up through the school district. We have also had quite a few students enrolled with us with the 1199 SCIU. So if you have that, we can accept it as well. And we have many students at this time who are currently using the New York State Essential Worker Scholarship. The scholarship program has been going on since the spring of 2020 and has been renewed and reused and recycled a couple of times since then. The most recent one is coming to an end soon, and I'm not sure if New York State will be renewing it or putting out something different. To our knowledge, all we know right now is that as of the last week of June, there was 12 weeks of tuition covered by anybody that's on that the newest version of the New York State Essential Worker Scholarship. And it's 12 weeks of tuition from the date that you got approved and began using it. So everybody's end date of the scholarship program is different. If this applies to you, we definitely recommend that you look at your approval email that you should have received once you registered for it and were approved for it, and consider the date that you first started with us, or if you're coming from a different program using this scholarship, consider the first date that you began using childcare with this scholarship and count 12 weeks of tuition from that. That's when you will know that your program, your scholarship coverage is ending. And after that, if you would like to continue childcare with us, you would have to begin paying privately or using a different form of subsidy. All right. Quickly about our enrollment process, we do try our best to make it simple and easy. All of our registration forms, with the exception of a medical statement, are electronic. You can complete and sign your forms electronically using DocuSign. We send the forms to you once we know what session you would like to sign up for, and we confirm with you what the tuition rate will be. So once we have those two pieces of information, and including your children's name and date of birth, we can send you the forms as long as we have a spot available for them. You would secure your placement in our program with paying a tuition deposit or providing us with the approval for your subsidy. And then your child, unfortunately, would not be able to start with us at all until we get a medical statement completed by your child's physician or a registered nurse, and that medical statement is returned to us. The medical statement is a very specific document. We've had a few families try to give us something different. If they're coming from New York City, there's a different form. But if you look at this example that is shown here, it specifically says at the top, New York State Office of Children and Family Services, Child in Care Medical Statement. This is the document that we need in order to allow your child to start in conjunction with our registration forms. So if we have this and the completed forms in DocuSign and there's a spot available, your child can begin. It's also important to note that if your child does have either any medical conditions or allergies that would require a nebulizer, a inhaler, or an EpiPen, we would need this form completed. It's an individual healthcare plan for a child with special healthcare needs. This is a document that you would have to fill out as a parent, that you need to include information that is included on this medical statement that your doctor signs. And if your child does have a prescribed nebulizer, EpiPen, or inhaler, we definitely encourage you to provide us with one as well in the event of an emergency where we would need to administer the EpiPen, nebulizer, or inhaler ourselves. Beginning in September, the state released another document that families of children with allergies need to complete as well. It's called the Individual Allergy and Anaphylaxis Emergency Plan. So just know that if your child has any specific allergies that are documented in their medical records that their doctor would include in the medical statement, there's a little bit of extra steps that we need you to complete before your child can begin, just for their safety. And again, these are allergies that are noted on the medical statement, not food preferences. Food preferences are different and should be treated as such. So please keep that in mind. I believe at this time, we're gonna get started with the tours. If you do have, I forgot to mention in the beginning, but if you do have questions, you can go ahead and put them in. There should be on your screen a Q&A box. If you click on Q&A, you can open that and type in the questions that you might have, all right? Ms. Gael, do you want to start off with a tour of our newest location, or should we leave that for last?
Oh, absolutely. I could start it off. Thank you. I'm just gonna, in between the hallways, I'm just gonna stop the video. It's just the hallway. So I'm just gonna stop the video as I walk out the office.
While she's getting ready, our Uniondale location is still being prepared. The classrooms are being set up at this time, and our goal is to open on Tuesday, September 7th, along with the rest of our programs. There we go. Go ahead, Ms. Gael.
Okay, so this is our first preschool classroom. I'm just gonna hold the computer up so you guys can get a 360 view. So this is where the entryway would be, and this is, get my head off the way. So this is the first preschool classroom that is located at the front of the building. And then towards this way is another classroom. The door is closed so that way teachers know this is two separate classrooms. The kids in both classrooms will not be mixed or combined at any given time. This is the front, another preschool or potentially a school age classroom. It's separate from the first classroom that I showed in the beginning. As you can see, that's the entry to the other classroom. Okay, now I'm gonna head over to our toddler classroom.
Again, while she's doing that, I'll jump in and say that our Uniondale location is set to open September 7th, hopefully if all goes well. I mentioned earlier, but if you missed it, all three of our sites in Roosevelt, Merrick, and Uniondale are less than 10 minutes from each other, and Uniondale and Roosevelt are particularly close. So if you have children in the Roosevelt School District schools that need pickup and drop off or after school services, and we don't have space for them at our Roosevelt site, they can certainly go over to Uniondale, and same thing for Merrick. We are filling up very quickly at Roosevelt and Merrick because they were already full locations for the summer, but we're glad to have expanded into this neighborhood as well.
Okay, so this is just the hallway entry to our toddler classroom. So our toddlers will be coming in this way. This is the entryway to our toddlers. So as you can see, they have their own classroom. There's also no mixing in this classroom as well. Just gonna do a 360 before, like I did before. Changing room and a bathroom to begin potty training if needed, with parents' permission, of course. Would you like to see the playground?
Yes, Ms. Gaia.
So the toddler classroom, I just want to make sure I don't get locked out. I was able to exit to the playground.
I should have known she was going to get kicked off the Wi-Fi. Ms. Gael, if you can hear us, we can no longer hear you. Right, Miriam? Can you hear her, or is it just me?
No, I don't hear her.
Okay. All right. So while she's doing that, I'll answer a question that is in the Q&A box. Someone wants to know if my child already had a medical form filled out for the summer program back in June. Does he still need to get it filled out again for September? And that's a really great question, and reminds me that I forgot to mention something super important. So let me go back to the slides and show you really quick while we wait for Ms. Gael to return. But this medical statement, if you notice, has immunizations required for entry into daycare, and it has different dates of the first date of a shot, second date of a shot, third, fourth, and fifth date of a shot. You have to, every time your child goes and gets a new immunization, we do need an updated form. So please be sure to, if you're going to take your child for another immunization, let us know so we can give you a blank form. All right, that's actually really important, and thank you for asking that question. And Ms. Gael, I see that you're back. I don't know if you know, but when you went outside, we couldn't hear you anymore because the Wi-Fi cut off. So
My apologies.
it's okay. I should have known that was going to happen. And someone is asking which location that was. That's actually our newest location in Uniondale. So I guess because of the Wi-Fi, you're just gonna have to schedule a private in-person tour in order
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely. We only have 3 classrooms that's going to open on September 7th, but I don't know if Ms. Danielle mentioned, I believe we have 3 other classrooms that's in the works. We're pretty huge center over here, so there's many more to see.
Yes, it's definitely very spacious. All right. I see someone said they're interested for after school. We definitely do have many after school slots available at the Uniondale location specifically. I believe Roosevelt is full right now with after school, but Uniondale is has many spots open. So I'll at the end of this show you guys how to go in and submit your requests for registration forms if you'd like to move forward. Miss Rochelle, do you want to do Merrick?
Yes, I can go next. Hello, everybody. So I'm going to start off when you first walk through our door. Oh. There we go. This is our preschool classroom. This is where they have their circle time. They do their activities at the table as well as have lunch. They have their artwork displayed around the room. Their chairs are labeled so the children can learn their names as they put it out to their seat. And also in our pre-K classroom, they have their own restroom as well. So they don't have to leave the classroom to use the restroom. And they also have access to the playground. So I hope I don't lose connection as well. So I'm gonna go quick. This is our playground and there's 2 entrances. The entrance from pre-K and then the entrance from infants, which I will show you next. And then if you would follow me, our next classroom is our infant classroom. Our infant classroom holds 8 babies. Each kid has their own crib. They have our little toys. We have our little center area. They have their high chairs where they can eat, our changing table, a hand washing sink, because we do like to encourage the little ones to wash their hands. And they also have an exit to the playground as well. And then we have 2 more classrooms. Our next classroom that I'm going to show you is our preschool classroom. So this is our preschool classroom. Right next to it is our toddler room. It is divided by the cots and we have these little cabinets, I guess you can call them, that divides them. This is where they have their circle time. They have their library area. This door stays closed at all times, so nobody can go out through there. And then they have their centers, their kitchen, puzzles, and their tables where they eat. And then our next classroom, last but not least, is our toddler room. Our toddler room is mostly for kids ages 18 months, about 2 years old. Kind of similar to our preschool room because they try to prepare them to go to preschool. So they have the same type of centers. They have the library area, the kitchen area, puzzles, as well as their circle area, their library area. And they also in this room have access to their own restroom. And then they have access to go outside as well to the playground. And that is my tour of Merrick.
Thank you, Miss Rochelle. All right, we'll have Miriam and Kiddis do Roosevelt next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kadis. I'm just getting to the front. So this is our entrance. This is where I sit. This is the assistant's office that you see when you walk in. The first room that we're gonna go into is actually the kindergarten room. They have a door, their emergency door, but this door always stays closed. We don't open this door unless it's an absolute emergency. Same as Merrick, we have a divider because this is our preschool room, but it's divided by the shelves. Of course, no students, go to the other side. They have their circle time on the rug. as well as what they do for circle time, their shapes, their alphabets, and their numbers. When you walk over, you see the shelves for the preschool room. This is our preschool room. They do the same thing. They have the rug for circle time. They have the tables that they use for their crafts or what they do for the day or their activities, whatever the curriculum is. They do have a bathroom that they actually share. Oh, they do have a bathroom that they actually share on the other side. When we go through on the other side, I will show you, is another classroom that they share their bathroom with. They do also have a second emergency exit, but this as well stays closed. It usually stays closed. Nobody ever opens it. And then I'm gonna walk. So we're back at the entrance. When you open the door that you first saw, you're gonna see a hallway. Once you walk towards that hallway, you're gonna look to your left and you're gonna see our UPK3 classroom. This classroom goes based off the district. So this classroom, different than all the other classrooms, it is only from 8 to 2. So this room does close down at 2 o'clock. They sit here. They don't really sit here for circle time. They usually sit here for large group discussion, usually for when they have their activities, their crafts. And they do the same thing as the shapes, numbers, alphabet, etc. So when you keep walking, this is the door that I showed you before that shares the bathroom with the other classroom that I had showed you before. So there's 2 toilets for both the classrooms to share. When you walk forward, there is the entrance that we use for all the students. For the outside, the playground. Ooh. Oh, I muted myself. Okay, this is the playground for the Roosevelt location.
Kiddis, your video is off.
Oh.
She probably lost service if she went outside.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't go outside.
Oh, sorry. Which I tried my best. I tried my best. But anyways, when you look forward, you're going to see that is our toddler room. So this is our toddler room. We have 2 rugs. There's this one and there's this one, but this is the one that they mostly use for circle time since it's in front of all of the shapes and alphabet and numbers. This is the changing area that they use, as well as the sink that they use every day consistently for the children to be washing their hands. Okay. And then they keep all of their activities, or as you see, their crafts in here on each folder that they use. And as you walk, you're going to walk to your right. And this room is our school age room, but for September, during the school day, this is going to be used as our preschool classroom, ages 3, 4, and 5. And afterwards, it's going to be an after school room for the school age. So as Danielle had said before, we have transportation. The kids come here after school. And when you walk towards the back, it is the infant room, our little babies. They also have an emergency exit, but their exit is never opened, obviously, unless there is an emergency. These are their cribs. We have a couple of family pictures, and they sit here usually for circle time, or they'll sit over here together. But they usually just sit on the rug and they play over here. And they also do have a sink that they do actually use for the babies, to start washing their hands. And this is their changing table as well. And lastly, I didn't mention it before, but there is an emergency exit all the way at the end for the school age room. But again, that one stays closed at all times unless it is an actual, emergency. But that is Roosevelt.
Thank you so much, kiddos. Is there any other questions that you guys might have, anybody watching might have before we continue or before we end? You can definitely use the chat box or the Q&A box, and our admin team is responding in there. I'm gonna go ahead and show you right now how to go about requesting registration forms, if that's what you would like to do at this point, or how to schedule a tour, if that's what you'd like to do, like an in-person tour or a virtual tour. You would go to academicexplorersllc.com, and then you would click on schedule a tour right here, and this form will pop up. Or you can go to the register button and click on book now for a virtual tour or an in-person tour. We do also have places where you can request registration forms. Our website is in the process of being updated to include our Uniondale location. So right now you will only see Merrick and Roosevelt, but we are currently accepting registration for Uniondale. So if you would like to register at Uniondale, where there is honestly more so space available there at this time because Merrick and Roosevelt are pretty full. You can call this number at the top right, or even text it. It is our enrollment hotline, so you can text 516-535-9691 in order to get the registration forms for Uniondale. We'll just take your contact information as well as your email address and phone number, children's names, and date of birth in order to prepare the registration forms to send you for Uniondale. I do see a question about uniforms, and that is also something I forgot to cover earlier, but we do require uniforms throughout September through June for our preschool and pre-K children, so children ages 3, 4, and 5. They do have to wear navy polos. Let me see if I can pull up a photo of it. But they are navy polos. Oh, I've got one. And you can purchase each child that is registered will get a polo from us for free, 2 polos for free. And you can purchase more directly from us by letting your center director know that you need to buy more, but you will definitely get 2 for free. On the bottoms, we do require khaki pants, either khaki pants or khaki skirt or khaki coveralls or what have you, and that can be from anywhere, but the polos do need to be purchased directly from us. And as long as the bottoms are khaki, that is in uniform. And that's only for children 3, 4, and 5 that are in our preschool, pre-K, and our preschool and pre-K rooms. It will also apply for kids that are about to turn 3, that just have a late birthday. So children that are 2 years, 9 months, 2 years, 10 months, 2 years, 11 months, that are in preschool rooms, you would need to make sure that they're wearing the uniforms as well. I see a question about supplies. You're going to get, if you're registered for the upcoming school year, you're going to get a list of supplies directly from your child's teacher. It does not need to be brought in by the exact first day of school. You'll be given a decent amount of time in order to get those supplies. but your child's teacher will either reach out to you directly, or you'll get an email from us with a list from your child's teacher if there are any supplies needed. The basic supplies that are needed for most children, if you're in an infant or toddler classroom, includes diapers or pull-ups, wipes if they're still diapering or potty training, a change of clothes in case of an accident, 2 blankets for nap time, and the 2 blankets does go for older children, 3, 4, and 5 as well. And Ms. Gael, am I missing anything as far as supplies?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, yeah. And then as they get into into the beginning of the school year, the teachers might reach out to you about things like markers and crayons and tissues and like basic classroom supplies like that. But like I mentioned, you would not need to have that for the very first day of school on September 7th, especially if we're just now going to be telling you about them so late. We would want to make sure you have enough time to get out and get those. But definitely by the first day, you need those diapers, wipes, change of clothes, and the 2 blankets for nap time. I do see a question about mask policies for toddlers. If your toddler is 2 years old, we do require masks to be worn as soon as a child turns 2. We do understand that toddlers under the age of 3 might have a more challenging time keeping it on all day long. So we may not strictly force it if it's causing a distraction or putting them in distress all day. But we do encourage it, and we will ask that they do come into the building with their mask on, and we try to teach them the importance of keeping it on. They do not keep them on during nap. They do not keep them on during meals or snacks, and they can take them off during outdoor play as well. All right. Yes, students do wear uniform on their first day. We will be giving out free uniforms for all children that are registered. So the polos that I mentioned earlier, those polos, everybody will get 2 of them prior to starting. So next week, if you are currently registered, next week your child will receive 2 polos sent home if you're with us during the summer. Gael, Miriam, Vanessa, Rochelle or Kiddes, is there any other questions that you saw that should be answered right now?
I'm answering most of the questions. I'm typing.
Same here. I know I saw it was, the list got long, so I'm helping her along. I actually, I have a parent, Miss Lori, who is asking what kind of lessons are taught in the toddler classroom. I figured I'll just speak it. I was trying to type as fast as I can. So our toddler classroom, which I love to call the peak classroom, that's the classroom we prepare them for our preschool. That's the classroom we start teaching social skills, communication skills, simple things as how to share or how to control our emotions. So we prepare them for preschool. We want them to go to preschool already potty training, if not on the path to potty training, how to communicate effectively with their peers, and to have an understanding of how to follow instructions. So we're molding our toddlers for the next stage, which, like I just mentioned, is for our preschool classroom. Let me see if there's any quick questions I can answer live.
I do see while you're looking through them as well, if someone wants to know about the latest, you can drop off your child, which is also something important to note. We do have parent policies that you sign off on upon registration. There's a link included to our parent policies in the email that you get. Our parent policies we usually update every year, and an update that will be included this year does include information about drop-off times. We find that it is distracting if children are coming in at all hours of the morning. Our morning circle time in most classes usually begins around 9:30 a.m. and we serve breakfast between 8:30 and 9 around that time. So if your child is arriving into the program program after 9 a.m. They are missing breakfast and they are possibly missing circle time in many classrooms. So there will be a morning cutoff time noted in our parent policies this upcoming school year, which will be sent out to everybody registered for the fall by next week. If you have a doctor's note, like your child went to the doctor, that's an exception. Or if you have a subsidy and your subsidy approval says that you cannot drop off your child before certain hours, that is also an exception. However, if none of those two things apply, then we will have a cutoff time for around 9 or 9:30, and that will be confirmed in your in the parent policies. But go ahead, Ms. Gaya, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. Another question that I receive all the time. So for the upcoming school year, we unfortunately do not offer part-time care. So, Ms. Diana, you mentioned 2 to 3 days a week care. That's something we did offer for the summer, but because the need is so great for the upcoming school year, we don't have the availability or the flexibility to just do 2 or 3 day care. Care does have to be 5 days a week, but tuition will reflect 5 days a week, but you're more than welcome to bring your child a couple of days as you wish. But again, tuition will reflect a 5-day-a-week care. Another question is, my son is turning 3 in December. He'll be in toddlers for now until he turns 3. Then we'll turn. So yes, if your son has not turned 3 yet, he will begin in toddlers, which means he does not need uniform. But when he does transition over to preschool, yes, he will need a uniform. And you don't need to apologize. It's okay.
So for clarity with that question, if anybody has a child that is currently 2 and will be turning 3 by like early or mid-November, they may need a uniform because they will be starting out in our preschool and just be of younger age. We do have at each of our locations a class for younger preschoolers that have late birthdays. So depending on the child's class is where you will know whether or not they need a uniform. If they are being placed in infants or toddlers in September, they do not need one. If they're after school or in grades K to 6 in a different elementary school setting, they do not need one. But if they are in preschool and pre-K, regardless of their age, they do need one.
I also see a question about dropping off 5 to 10 minutes early. To be very honest, you would just have to speak with your center director and just make them aware you need a 5 to 10 minute drop off. That's really up to them because we do staff according to the needs of parents of the time frames that we have for our sessions. But I would speak with the center director and just make them aware that you need to drop off 5 to 10 minutes early, or just to give yourself that comfort. We do have extended AM care that's offered. So with that window, you're able to drop off half an hour before the full day session begins. So I would honestly choose that session so you just have that comfortability of knowing that you could drop off a whole half an hour early. Does anybody else have any questions? I think Miss Susie, I could have Miss Miriam give you a call tomorrow morning.
Okay, so we're just at an hour mark. If there are any more questions, definitely put them in the Q&A box. If you think of questions after this, or you're getting the recording after and not watching live anymore, you can reach out to us by emailing, and I'll put it in the chat box. Well, firstly, if you're currently enrolled, the first step is to talk to your center director. So Miriam for Roosevelt, Rochelle for Merrick, and you can speak to Ms. Gael for Uniondale questions specifically. Ms. Kittis is our admin assistant at the Roosevelt location as well. And I want to shout out Miss Kittis because she's finishing up her last semester of school. So you might not see her. Hold on, I gotta spotlight Miss Kittis really quick. Miss Kittis is gonna be finishing her last semester of school this fall. So you might not see her from September through early December, right, Miss Kittis? But you'll be back in the winter.
I will. Sorry, I still don't know how to use Zoom correctly, but yes, I will.
Okay, so we're definitely gonna miss you. So you'll see a couple of brand new faces. We do have someone that's gonna be temporarily taking over Miss Kittis' role for the months that she's gone. Her name is Miss Jody, and if you are registered at Roosevelt, you should begin seeing her next week. But if you have any questions and you're currently enrolled, please talk to your center administration. If you're thinking of something while that's outside of business hours, you can always email us at info@academicexplorersllc.com for general questions about enrollment. And if nothing else, if there are no more questions,
I'm sorry, one more. Someone's asking about, I know you mentioned after school is full for Roosevelt. Miss Abasi, is the before care full for Roosevelt at this moment?
No, it's not.
So before school is available for any new parents, but unfortunately after school is full if you have not enrolled yet.
At this time, enrollment is ongoing. We do have a wait list that you can join. If you are interested in a very specific center and not willing to budge, you can always get on our wait list. And once a spot does become available, which it can for many different reasons, sometimes enrollment opens up unexpectedly and we just go in order of what's noted on our wait list. So let us know if you would like to join a particular wait list and we will send you the agreement. All right. And I also want to spotlight Miss Rochelle because Miss Rochelle is new to our leadership team. She is a director, or she's going to be our acting director at our Merrick location, as I'm sure she very quickly ran through earlier in the call. But I'm proud of her growth and her dedication to Academic Explorers, and I wanted to make sure we recognized her for her accomplishments. And if you are registered at the Merrick location, you will be seeing her more frequently at the front or speaking to her on the phone. Miss Gael, who used to be at Merrick every day, is now going to be at our Uniondale location pretty much every day. If you are unaware, Miss Gael is our operations manager. So she helps with the startup of each of our new location and handling any concerns from parents. So I'm sure each and every one of you know Miss Gael already by this point.
Yes, you can continue to reach out to me even though I'm at Uniondale. I'm here for all of you guys.
Yeah, she's also the first person that usually answers the phone for anybody looking to enroll. So just thought you should all know who everybody is. And I want to thank you all for joining us. And if you have any questions, please be sure to email info@academicexplorersllc.com, or Miss Gael also put her email address in the chat box, gvolmar@academicexplorersllc.com. And along with the recording of this open house, you'll get all of our contact information, okay? Thank you everybody for joining, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.